Now at 4, the big boys are back for day one of the NFL Combine. We're live at Lucas Oil Stadium with a look at the defensive linemen, the linebackers, and the Hoosiers who love them.
And we're in for a little bit of weather whiplash with temperatures going to the 60s to the 30s and back. I'll let you know what to expect.
And can you feel it? You're spending more money in the morning. The local impact to rising egg and coffee prices in central Indiana. Live from Indy at 4, you're watching 13 News.
Good afternoon. We've got a lot to get to today. We start with some fun. Downtown Indy. Today is the day. This is where NFL hopefuls are going to try and make their dream come true.
That's right. I'm Ann Marie in for Felicia today at 4. This happens to be day one of the NFL Scouting Combine. It's downtown at the home of the Colts, Lucas Oil Stadium. This is a day where the very best players in college football come here and they get a chance to kind of show off their stuff, and they're doing so in front of all the top professional scouts. Karen Campbell talked with fans who traveled here from all across the country because they want to see these future stars in person. And Karen joins us from live outside a very windy Lucas Oil Stadium. Hey there, Karen.
Hey, and yeah, you said it correctly. It is a very windy day out here, but you know what? That didn't stop families and friends who came out here to support the favorite football player in their life, hoping that they will be scouted during this NFL Scouting Combine and that they will perhaps one day wear one of these helmets one day. And again, we did mention it is a windy day, but you know what? Here in the fan zone, that didn't stop fans from having a little fun and trying to practice just like some of these football players practice. So take a look at some of the video that we shot a little earlier from some of the things that fans did. It is a pretty big location. You know, they have a lot of things set up for fans, and they, you know, tried out a lot of football-themed activities. They have, for example, a weight zone where you can see how much you can bench. You can also test your agility and lots more, even your racing skills to see how fast you are. You can also take photos by one of your favorite teams' oversized helmets. Now, we met a mom from Florida who says, of course, Indiana's nothing like Miami, but she said this is her first time here in Indy. She loves it, and her son is a receiver for the University of Miami. Take a listen to what she had to say.
Oh my God, it's emotional in a good way. He's worked so hard to get to this moment. So, you know, again, you used to pray for these days. So it's just so blessed, so thankful, so surreal, like we're here. It's insane.
Yeah, definitely a surreal moment. You know, we did meet other families who came out to Lucas Oil Stadium again to cheer on their loved ones as they take the field. You're going to hear from them coming up at 5 o'clock. But, you know, the sun is shining. When the wind kind of calms down, it feels a lot better. We've seen a lot of kids come out just having a lot of fun with their families. So, again, this continues throughout this weekend. So if you are watching us at home, you should definitely come and check this out. And, Dustin?
All right, and the sun is shining, the skies are blue, so those are some weather bonuses as well. Karen Campbell, thanks so much for joining us live outside the stadium. So that's a little bit about the fan experience. Now let's talk about the athletes, why they're here, the Scouting Combine.
And everybody wants to see them as close as they can. Our Dominic Miranda continues his week-long coverage and setting the stage for what lies ahead. Tom?
Another jam-packed day here at the Indiana Convention Center in downtown Indianapolis for NFL Scouting Combine festivities, day 3. It was a lot of fun on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Here we are on Thursday. Even more players hitting the podium. They started the first round of players talking to media yesterday. That's continuing here today. And it's tight ends and the defensive backfield, the DBs, the speedy guys, the defensive players. Those are two positions that are huge for the Indianapolis Colts, two huge positions of need. And that's who we got to hear from today. So coming up at 5 and 6, we're going to hear from two DBs. The Colts might have fall to them at pick 14 in the NFL draft, and Tyler Warren, the big name tight end out of Penn State, the Mackey Award winner, a first-team All-American. He's a guy that a lot of fans would love to see in a Colts uniform. So at 5 and 6 today, we're going to hear from those three players, guys who might fall to the Colts at pick 14. It's kind of a precarious spot to be in that first round, but you can still get a lot of value. We're going to hear from them and see if they can really make an impact on this Colts team. So we're going to have coverage for you all throughout today. Be sure to watch us on 5 and 6 and WTHR Plus. But for now, we'll send it back to you here from the Indiana Convention Center.
All right, looking forward to it. And a big night tonight for IU Indy. They're hoping fans will pack the jungle.
That's right. It's the Jaguars' first game since the team's bus caught fire over the weekend as they were traveling back from a road game that was in Kentucky. So take a look. Here's what the team's bus looked like after they had flames that were shooting from it. It was damaged there. We had big clouds of black smoke. The game was at the Northern Kentucky University. The game was on Saturday. Thankfully, nobody was hurt, but there were some losses. The uniforms and other gear, along with their personal items, you know, their phones, their wallets, things like that, destroyed. Good update here. 3 cheers for Adidas.
Yes,
Adidas came through big time, donating brand new gear. So the team is hoping that they're going to be able to sport that, and fans are going to come and see that in person too, as they show their support for that organization that's had a pretty tough week.
Yes.
They got a game tonight. If you'd like to go, that tip-off is at 6:30 over there. If you know where the natatorium is and the IUPUI campus, it's in that same building.
A lot to be thankful for.
Yes.
Yeah, all got out off that bus. Okay, nobody was injured. And as you mentioned, Adidas coming through to help them out.
update.
Which is really great. But boy, when you see that bus,
It's pretty incredible.
It is, to
what
see
was
all the
left.
damage there and
Yeah.
how quickly they had to get off before things escalated. Okay, we were earlier with Karen talking about the wind.
It is the story.
Yeah.
And not only is it going to be the story, but it's going to lead to what I think will be the bigger top story, which is the huge swing in temperatures. We're talking 60s, then 30s, then back to 60s at some point. I mean, over the course of the next week, we're really looking at a dramatic swing. Now, we are on the upswing part of this. 53, that's where we sit currently, but some locations are almost close to 60 degrees, and it is breezy. But I think the strongest of the winds won't arrive until tomorrow. Tomorrow is, I think, going to be our windiest day. The radar has become a little bit more active, and a few of these have been showing some signs that they're producing a little bit of lightning. Overall, not expecting any severe weather with these, but as always, we keep an eye on it, especially as the temperatures warm up. Most of these just driven by kind of the heating of the day. If you've been out, you notice those puffy cumulus. There is a little bit of movement in the atmosphere. And by the way, the winds are gusting to 40 miles per hour right now in Indy, 43 miles per hour in Shelbyville. Those will come down a bit for tonight, but tomorrow we pick this back up 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. with a wind advisory where some of the gusts could be 45 to maybe as high as 55 miles per hour. So tomorrow will certainly be the windier day, but it is the winds that are determining our temperatures. Let me explain. Tonight, the winds go down to much lighter than where they are currently. That'll drop our temperatures into the 30s. So already we're seeing a big drop from the 50s today to the 30s tonight. And then with those strong winds out of the south and west tomorrow, we go back into the 60s before we see the temperatures drop again for Saturday morning. Talk about weather whiplash. We could be down into the 20s for Saturday early morning. So we are really going to see things swing from one direction to the other. Tomorrow, you will start out on the chilly side close to freezing. We will see the temperatures warm up into the mid 60s for most of you. We are expecting some sunshine, but it is going to be a windy day. I'll be back with a look at the weekend forecast. March is going to begin more like winter, unfortunately. I'll show you coming up.
All right, we'll see you then. Rob, thank you. Got to talk about egg prices now. They're already giving a sticker shock at the grocery store, and they are now predicted to soar even higher. In fact, if the current rate holds, you can expect to pay nearly $7 for a dozen regular eggs by the end of the year. Now, in comparison, it cost us just over $3 this same time last year, according to the USDA.
What are you thinking about egg prices these days?
They're too expensive. I haven't eaten eggs in about a month.
Okay, that's incredible. Did you used to eat a lot of eggs?
Every day. My children too, not anymore.
Adjusting our diets.
That's right. And you know, when we're talking about higher prices and what we're paying, it doesn't just stop with eggs. Yep, it's going to cost a little bit more for you to cut a Joe, as you may have noticed. The main reason coffee retailers now are passing off the cost of tariffs to us, the consumer. So frustrating.
Yeah.
Here at home, these rising prices have also impacted cafes and bakeries all year. And now there's one that's in Broad Ripple that says because of these increased costs of their supplies, they're making some changes to the way they do business.
Samantha Johnson stopped by there today. She's here now with their message to customers. These folks are probably bearing our frustration. They're kind of on the front lines, Sam.
They are, absolutely. And right now, they're really just asking customers to, hey, please understand everything that's going on right now. Breadworks in Broad Ripple. They've already raised prices once this year, and now they've adjusted their menu to promote items that don't use eggs. In fact, that new menu launched today. Now, the favorites, the ones that have been there all along, they're not going away, like the Broad Ripple breakfast sandwich, which does have eggs. But staff there tell me, listen, at one point this year, half of their food expenses was going to just eggs. So they knew that had to change.
We just put out like a grilled chicken sandwich and like a daily soup. So it's kind of like trying to bring in new ingredients so we don't have to rely so hard on eggs.
So some of the popular bread items like the pound cakes, unfortunately, also use eggs. So staff members say worst case scenario here is that they would have to raise prices again in the coming weeks. They don't want to. That's the last thing they want to do. I also asked about the coffee prices because we mentioned coffee's more expensive too.
Right.
They said they have been paying more to get coffee into Breadworks. They have not had to pass that price on to customers yet. It's not as bad as the eggs, but we'll have more from them coming up at 5:30.
Yes, it's like a domino effect.
Yeah, unfortunately. And like I said, the last thing they want to do is charge us more, that they're doing everything they can to prevent that.
Yeah.
All right.
And you know, when those prices go up, we also want to track them coming back down
We
when
sure
this
do.
little crisis is over. Okay, Sam, thanks so much. Well, attention travelers, we have some changes that Southwest Airlines is making right now. It's going to change the way that you book your flight.
And big news for local entertainment. A special guest will be joining us live here in studio after the break to talk about new details on a partnership with Pacers Sports and Entertainment. Really looking forward to talking about this. This is right after the break. Hey, Rob.
And get this, we are going to end February with temperatures in the 60s, but we're going to start March in the 30s. I'll explain coming up.